More Russian men have fled Russia than they've responded to Putin's mobilisation. Can the new Russians pressed into their army turn the tide on the battlefield for Russia?
Gabrielle, I'll give you one anecdote I just saw tragically the other day. A Russian family posted that their son was going for training in a famous town in a back area called Rostov-on-Don, and 2 days later they post his funeral notice. He'd been sent to the front in Donbass almost without any training. I don't think they'll make much of a difference. I don't think they'll arrive in time. I think the Ukrainian frontline troops are very hard. And according to British and US intelligence reports, 65,000 Russian men, soldiers, have been knocked out, killed, wounded, AWOL or captured.
Okay. Look, what's the effect of the war in Ukraine having on China and its future military plans?
Well, I think that's a good question. I think that's the key thing for Australia and the only hopeful thing to come out of this terrible conflict with the Ukrainian civilians paying so much of a price. The Chinese would be surprised at Western unity. The G7 meeting just today, the World Bank supporting the Ukrainians. They'd be very surprised. And the huge amount of aid that's been funneled into Ukraine, they'd also be taken aback a bit by the superiority of Western military technology, which they basically rely on Soviet models. Some of them are Chinese built, but they're based on Soviet designs or Russian designs. So the Western unity, the acrimony focused on Russia for its attacks, and the amount of economic and military aid that's gone to Ukraine would be seen by them as precedents for what might happen if they got more aggressive with Taiwan.
Look, finally, former Prime Minister Paul Keating is pleading with Canberra to pull out of the AUKUS agreement. What are your thoughts on this?
Oh, poor old Uncle Paul. He's a great figure of Australian history, but he's dead wrong on this. I think he's been overcome by nostalgia for Beijing's past behaviour. I don't think the current government is paying much attention to him, and that's dictated by the circumstances. It's not designed to be rude to Paul Keating, nor am I disparaging him as a figure of Australian history. But he's wrong on this. The Australian government isn't listening because the Chinese are being very aggressive, including in our backyard. They're just sending off police trainers from the Solomons to China for training. Is that in Australia's interest, Paul Keating? I think not.
Michael Danby, we do have to leave it there. Appreciate your insights this morning.
Thanks, Gabrielle.